You know, one of those big question marks going into the year that Dirt pointed to was Dante Moore. And what was Dante Moore going to be? What could he accomplish? How much of it was going to be relying on him versus maybe just laying back a little bit and letting the running game do most of the talking. Now, the running game had a nice night for itself. Deer Hill had 82 yards on 10 carries. Dante Moore was pretty stellar in this game, I thought. He was composed the entire time. You know, I didn't really think there was ever a real moment where I said to myself, like, he seemed totally calm, cool, and collected. He was 29 of 39 for 248 and 3 touchdowns. He had several plays that he would extend on the run, make throws. You mentioned to DeCorian, he had some to Sadiq. Like, he had play after play. And in the postgame, Dan Lanning had this to say about Dante Moore.
I think we got the best quarterback in college football, right? I mean, anybody who watches that game, I don't know. Maybe I don't see everybody else, but that guy's composure, his poise. I mean, even the big play at the end there on the first overtime, you know, we're about to throw a screen into the boundary. He has the wherewithal to not throw it in the boundary, turn around and get it thrown back to the field, and get a 4th and 1. I don't know. You guys will have to tell me. I thought that was going to be targeting. Looked like it from the field, but we ended up, you know, converting to 4th and 1. That's just like one example in that game of the poise that he had, the command he had of our offense. Remember, I came up and talked to him about hey, if we go to 4th down here, here's what I'm thinking. He's like, Coach, let's just get the 3rd down. And he did it, you know, so it just tells you a little bit about that guy we got playing for us.
I do love that story of like, Coach, we're 3rd down. Let's just pick this up.
Let's get this. Let's not worry about that call yet. We're going to get this one right now.
Side note, and this, I do not want to derail the segment with this.
Yeah.
I don't know what targeting is.
I don't either. I'm not going to complain about it, though, because Oregon got away with was he down or not? And there were for sure.
I'm not trying to defend one side. I don't think I know.
I have no idea. I don't know
They
how
got
that's
it
not
right
targeting.
on the broadcast. Because now
they got it right in terms of the prediction. How is that not the crown of his helmet?
I mean, the top of the helmet. He
Please show me
lowered
where's
his
the crown?
head and hit him directly in the face mask. He hit him so hard his face mask
No, he didn't.
broke.
He hit him right in the
top
crown.
of the helmet. Hit him.
I watched the replay.
But they were saying it wasn't the specific, bubble on the top of the helmet, the button. The forehead's not targeting.
I always thought the crown was here.
I don't know. I have no idea. None of it makes sense. Guys get tossed out of games for ridiculous reasons. Part of me was glad that the theme of the night from an officiating standpoint was they just let him play. Like, there wasn't a lot of it that was like, what? No, don't.
No, I'm
throw
not
him.
mad.
Like,
I just I don't know what targeting is.
I have no idea. He was awesome, man. Dante Moore was awesome in his biggest game.
We played it last week, and it kind of shocked you. We had Todd McShay audio from a Bill Simmons pod, and he said, right now, man, going into Penn State, it might be Dante Moore, and if he wins, look out. This morning, Dante Moore is your Heisman Trophy favorite, 7-1.
You want me to retract the sticky note yet, or you want to hold on to it for a little
I don't
bit
know.
longer?
I don't know why you would write one so fraudulently.
A lot of jokes about pick sixes in the offseason. Are we still making those jokes?
We don't need to get
still gonna pick six. He threw a pick six.
Actually,
remember those pick sixes?
Threw 2 in that game.
Yeah, he did. As a true freshman on a bad team, he looks a little bit better now. Would you say?
You know what? You could thank us for actually the whole trajectory of your program. If it weren't for Oregon State's team that year, you wouldn't have had this mentally tough Dante Moore. And if we don't beat you in 19 straight runs, you don't win at Beaver Stadium.
That's right.
So you're welcome for all of it.
The animosity towards the Beavers from that one. I wasn't, look, I was really high on Dante Moore coming into the year, but even me, there is an aspect of he's looked great in the first month of the season, and then you add a caveat at the end of every statement of haven't played anybody, and you got to go do it in a tough spot. And these are the spots usually when young quarterbacks get flustered. Drew Aller in his own stadium seemed overwhelmed and flustered the entire game.
The way he was kind of like pregame, he was really like kneeling, like, good, pray all you want, like calm yourself. It just
God ain't helping you today, buddy.
God was a Duck fan. He seemed far more anxious and came in caring so much more, whereas you'd think maybe in that environment there'd be a little bit of like, oh, man, this is a lot of people, a lot of
wide-eyed. And
he just looked the same the whole game. It was third quarter, first quarter, opening series, last possession. He didn't look facially any different.
No.
And
after
Aller,
touchdowns,
he just looked like, and he eventually calmed and had some good moments at the back end, but I don't know if I can disagree with him right now. That might be the best college quarterback going right now.
Well, I think Lanning used the two words that stood out the most to me: the composure and the poise that he showed in front of 111,000 people in the toughest environment in the country. And I think in the first half, we went over the numbers earlier, at least you did, of how they kind of dominated statistically, but there wasn't a lot to show for it on the scoreboard. I think a lot of that was a credit to Dante, who never tried to force anything in the first half. Like that was a game where your defense was playing lights out. Sans a couple of third down conversions that Penn State had on one drive that put them into field goal range. They essentially couldn't get a first down. You had them twisted into a pretzel. And Dante Moore knew, like, don't make a mistake. Don't let the crowd get on you. Don't throw a bad pick. Like, if it's not there, use your legs. He did that constantly throughout the course of the night. And so to always take what the defense gave him, and then the moment, they use the analogy in the Ohio State win last year. It was like jab, 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 and then throw your haymaker, right? Like, that was the kind of game that I felt like it was from Dante Moore, where it was just a lot of jabs early, a lot of simple stuff. Don't take any risks that you don't need to. If it's not there, tuck it and pick up 5 yards. He came up short on one fourth down scramble where he tried to spin and the drive came to an end. So it wasn't perfect, but he just was kind of feeling his way out into the game. And then in the third quarter is when Dante Moore's playmaking ability started to take over. And the first big one was I'm flush from the pocket on third down, scramble towards the sideline, make an unbelievable throw back across my body to Kenyon Sadiq. That was kind of the first pop, like, oh, here we go. Now the offense can get going. I mentioned the DeCorian Moore throw on third down where he scrambled out, scramble drill, and DeCorian Moore had to cut it up the sideline. An unbelievable throw, unbelievable catch for both of those guys. How about the play in overtime where I don't know if it was because it was supposed to look that way or because Sutton jumped in front of it, where he kind of was going to throw the screen to the sideline, kind of bobble the ball, Sutton standing right in front of him. He then has to turn and finds Gary Bryant, who's like cutting and diving, streaking and made the catch and picked up the first down.
An unbelievable throw.
There were so many little moments where, like, man, as a inexperienced quarterback, which he is in that setting, you should not be this composed. He seems different, and that was the hope going into the game, that he would look that way. That was the biggest test that he is going to face by far in the regular season, and he passed it with flying colors. He had looked great going in, but there was always the caveat of, you got to go do it against an elite defense and an elite team, and Penn State is, without a doubt, an elite defensive team, and he was phenomenal, and there's not even a debate coming out of it of who had the better quarterback in that game on Saturday night.
Oh, I would agree with that. I mean, it's pretty cut and clear that when you watch, if you go rewatch that game, and I don't know how many times you've rewatched it at this point.
3.
I guess, okay, I was going to guess 7, but it's not even a debate.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, they have a better quarterback.
Yeah.
They have better lines. They got better quarterback. They're skill guys. Like, I think Allen and Singleton are really good football
players.
Good
running backs,
I don't think their results are a skill-based problem.
No.
Oregon just had better talent up front. If you give those guys Oregon's offensive line, I'm sure they do damage as well.
Sure.
But also, De'Aaron Hale was effing awesome. And that dude runs, I wasn't joking, he runs like a mini Ashton Genty. He's tough. He keeps his legs going. He can break away. He's got speed. DeCorian, I'll talk about coming in with a lot of hype. There were questions about Dante. Almost everybody's like, DeCorian Moore's a real deal.
Yeah.
And he's come in, and I don't know where he stacks up in receptions or yards or any of that, but
in the biggest game of the year, he had 7 catches for 89 yards and a huge third down conversion.
Yes.
He was their number one target, and it wasn't even close. When
you look at this team, and I didn't get a cut in on this one. I want to get to it. When you look at this team, gamers. I mean, that's the other part of Lanning feeling so charged up, right? It's one thing to go on the road and win, and man, how big that is for your program this year, and people weren't picking you, and you were third in the odds board. And you go into this with a little bit of question or even some doubt, right? Like Pate State material. Picked Penn State to cover, not just win, to cover 3.5.
The thought is they got to win one of these at some point, right?
And everybody said, well, this is it. It's all set up for Penn State to win. They had the bye. Oregon just played. And it's, to me, I think part of that emotion from him is also, dude, I'm picking the right guys. They're perfect for my culture and our system and their top-end talent. But also, they're just gamers everywhere. You look around, gamer, and they all showed themselves on Saturday night. I have a clip from Dan Lanning on talking about his team and the environment. I cannot wait to watch the whole, what's the Duck one?
Ducks versus them is going to hit like crack
this week.
It'll probably come, I think it'll come out tomorrow, usually Mondays, but this one might take a little bit more time.
He highlighted 1,000 cuts. Swag pulled something from his postgame that I wonder if this was the other theme for them, based on his post-game cut that I'll play on the other side. How you feeling, Duck fan, today? Do you feel like you got the best quarterback in college football?